Good afternoon. We'll take you straight to that breaking news out of the United States, where one person has been killed, at least another 37 are injured after a car ploughed into a group of pedestrians outside the Miss Universe pageant in Las Vegas. Witnesses say a woman crashed into the crowd outside Planet Hollywood on the boulevard. That was before fleeing the scene with a child in the car. At least 7 of those injured are understood to be in a critical condition. The driver has reportedly handed herself into security at a nearby casino. It is a breaking news story as we go to air this afternoon, and we will have the latest developments live for you right here on 9 News. Well, a 21-year-old man has faced court charged over the alleged stabbing attack on 3 teenagers at an out-of-control birthday party at Warrawee in Sydney's North Shore. The accused, Callum Fenty, is due to spend Christmas behind bars after he was formally refused bail. He'll face court again early next month. We'll cross live to our reporter for more on that developing story a little later in the bulletin. Former Hey Dad star Robert Hughes is expected to serve the remainder of his 6-year jail term after losing an appeal against his conviction for child sex offences. Kelly Fedor was in court. She joins us live. Good afternoon, Kelly. Will Hughes continue to fight this decision now? Kelly Fedor live in Sydney, thank you. Well, a man has been killed in a fiery crash in Blacktown in Sydney's west. 2 cars collided early this morning, causing one of those vehicles to burst into flames. And it follows a horror start to the festive season on the nation's roads. National security has been a focus of high-level talks between Australia and Indonesia in both Sydney and Jakarta today, after raids and arrests across Indonesia ahead of an alleged terrorist attack. Nine's Mark Burrows joins us in the studio. Mark, tell us what was achieved in today's meeting in Sydney.
Davina, I think you could say there was certainly an increased commitment between Australia and Indonesia to cooperate on defence, counter-terrorism and trade deals. You have to put this into context. Remember what it was like at the beginning of the year. The relationship does look like it's really on the mend.
There's progress there. Mark Burrows, thank you. Well, to the United States, where 3 Democratic hopefuls have faced off in a fiery debate as the race to become president heats up. From fierce arguments over Islamic State to gun control to Hillary Clinton disappearing from stage. The Democratic debate, it was full of drama. The jury in the Sydney murder trial of Stephen Feisis, the man accused of strangling his wife in 1997, has been told it can now reach a majority verdict. The 11-person jury has been deliberating for 3 weeks but has been unable to reach a unanimous decision. Feisis denies murdering the 18-year-old and burying her body in 1997. Well, still to come on 9's afternoon news, bomb scare. The passenger plane bound for Paris to make an emergency landing after a suspicious device was found on board. Also, the secret to losing weight that's so easy, apparently you can do it in your sleep. Plus, lotto scam, the industry insider convicted in a high-tech scheme to rig the ultimate game of chance. And the Force is strong in this one. Just how popular the new Star Wars movie is, we'll have the verdict for you next. Victorian families who lost their homes in this week's bushfires will now be able to access emergency grants to help them get back on their feet. As Emily Rice reports, conditions have eased, but a new wave of hot and windy weather is on the way. And a home in Brisbane's west has burnt to the ground, forcing a couple to find a new place to stay just days out from Christmas. Sean Power has been following the story. He joins us live from our Brisbane newsroom. Sean, tell us, could anything be saved?
Well, Davina, only a few items in a portion of the house that wasn't affected by flames, but more than 3/4 of it is completely destroyed. So too is the shed. It all started as a result of a small spot fire, but it very quickly took hold and gathered up pace. And one of the reasons that it was able to gain so much intensity was as a result of there not being any hydrants in the area. It's quite a rural part. It's in the gap at the back of Mount Cootha. It's not a main street, so they had to bring in a lot of water. But by the time it took those pumps to get there, the entire shed was already gone. They tried to do everything they could. Davina, there was also major concerns as a result of this home backing onto a national forest, more than 1,500 hectares of land, which firefighters have been concerned about for many weeks now. They were worried that this fire could have spread and caught onto those areas, but thankfully that didn't happen. The rest of the forest is safe and sound, but a really difficult time for this family involved. And we'll have more detail for Brisbane viewers tonight at 6.
Sean, thank you. Well, plans to install shark barriers and drum lines have been fast-tracked on the New South Wales North Coast. Nine's Carrie-Anne Greenbank was there today in Ballina, where the Premier, Mike Baird, inspected the new technology. Well, Yvonne joins us now for a quick check of what's coming up in sport. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Davina. Usman Khawaja's unbeaten 109 for the Sydney Thunder has all but reassured his recall to Australia's starting 11 for the Boxing Day test. The 29-year-old says his hamstring is stronger than ever, and that would be a dream to get the call up. The Western Sydney Wanderers say rigorous training is the reason behind their success this season. They face an out-of-form Newcastle Jets this weekend that have failed to win in their last 7 starts and admit that they'll be trying to capitalise on the club's inconsistencies. And Barcelona have become the first team to win the Club World Cup 3 times, thanks to superstars Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez. Messi opened the scoring before Suarez put it beyond doubt with 2 classy finishes. It is Barcelona's 5th title this year. We'll have all that and plenty more coming up in sport. I don't know, about 3 to 4 coffees a day. You'd be scraping me off the ceiling.
We'd be bouncing around. The 90-minute news will be read in like 50 minutes.
Very quick.
Thank you. See you soon. Still to come on Nine's Afternoon News, the new campaign to keep children safe this December from a tiny silent killer. It's hidden under some of our Christmas trees. Also, searing heat to return in Victoria just in time for Christmas, bringing a new fire threat to the state. Beck Judd will have the forecast for the nation up soon. And the runaway ute that looks like it almost dropped out of the sky into a family home will have those incredible pictures for you next. Right now, though, here's a look at what's happening in tonight's news at 6 o'clock. Have a look at this. A homeowner in Washington is lucky his house is somehow still in one piece after an out-of-control ute crash landed onto a property less than a metre from his guest bedroom. Now, CCTV shows the driver climbing out of the back of the vehicle and then fleeing into the night. That driver is, at this stage, yet to be found. Wow. Well, parents are being warned about the possible deadly dangers of button batteries this Christmas. Sophie Walsh has the story for us. Sophie, a new campaign's been launched to save lives.
Davina, it is a very big problem that isn't going away. Every week, 20 Australian children are admitted into emergency wards because they've swallowed a battery.
Really important warning, so thank you. We'll check the weather now with Beck Judd, and the southeast is enjoying a much cooler day today, Beck.
Hi Davina, yes they certainly are, and I think everyone's probably glad to get a better night's sleep because they haven't just been hot days but hot nights as well. On Saturday night in Victoria, Bendigo and Mildura recorded their warmest minimums on record, not just for December but for any time of the year. Bendigo dropped to 29 and Mildura 31.9, and Sydney-siders have endured their hottest December night in 15 years with an overnight minimum of 23.6. It's overcast and drizzly today, and after reaching 29 at 10 this morning, it's cooler, now sitting on 20. But Melbourne had a much more pleasant night, dropping to 15 just before 7 a.m, and it's been a great day to open all the doors and windows with a maximum of just 20. Hobart is also having a cool down. It reached 29 yesterday, and that's 9 above average, but only 20 today. It's been a lovely December day in Brisbane, reaching 31 this afternoon. Now, we do need to keep an eye on the top end. A monsoonal trough has moved in and a tropical low has formed, and there is a chance that it could develop into a tropical cyclone. I'll have all the forecasts, including a look at Christmas Day a little later, Davina.
See you soon, Beck. Thank you. Well, up next, video of the party on Sydney's exclusive Upper North Shore, where 3 teenage boys were allegedly stabbed. Explosive raids in Melbourne, where with the police as they seized dozens of rounds of illegal fireworks. High drama in Las Vegas, several people run over on a footpath by a runaway car, and not too far away, shock, anger and embarrassment at the Miss Universe pageant. And meet the Gold Coast lifeguard who saved the heir to the Danish throne as a nervous Princess Mary watched on when her son got caught in a rip. You're watching Nine's Afternoon News, and these are our top stories. No bail. A 21-year-old man appears in court after 3 teenagers were allegedly stabbed at a Sydney house party. New drama for Sydney's controversial Deputy Mayor Salim Mahaja, and horror scenes on the Las Vegas Strip after a runaway car ploughs into a crowd not far away from an embarrassing end to the Miss Universe pageant. A A 21-year-old will spend Christmas behind bars after 3 teens were allegedly stabbed when a party turned violent on Sydney's North Shore. Nine's Lizzie Pearl is following the story. She joins us live. Lizzie, you were in court today. Just take us through what happened.
Davina.
Lizzie Pearl live in Sydney. Thank you. Well, police are pleading with drivers to take care on our roads after a man in his 50s was killed in a fiery crash in Sydney's west. Nine's Gabrielle Boyle has the story. Well, the Miss Universe pageant, it's never without drama, but no one could have predicted an ending like this. Miss Colombia, she was crowned the winner ahead of Miss Philippines, but as she celebrated, host Steve Harvey awkwardly crept onto the stage to make this announcement.
I have to apologize. The first runner-up is Colombia.
Oops, Miss Philippines, there she is. She was the actual winner. The $300,000 tiara was eventually presented to her, who appeared more stunned rather than excited. Well, plenty more to come in Nine's afternoon news, including no pussyfooting around why this animal lover suddenly decided to jump into a zoo pen full of tigers. We'll show you how it ended. And Beck Judd is back with the all-important Christmas Day weather forecast. And Bonnie's back with sport and a Boxing Day gift for one particular player.
And it's just what he wanted. Davina Usman Khawaja put on an unbeaten Big Bash show at the MCG to cement his Test return. And Matthew Dellavedova goes for a season high in Cleveland.
To breaking news, and 300 Christmas shoppers have been evacuated from Sydney's David Jones flagship store as the department store started to fill with smoke. Now, early investigations suggest the blaze started in a motor room and there have been no reports of any injuries. We'll have the latest developments for our viewers tonight at 6 in our Sydney Bulletin. Time for sport with you, Bonnie.
Thank you, Davina. With a spot in his debut Boxing Day Test on the line, Usman Khawaja sent a message that selectors couldn't ignore. An unbeaten 109-run stand led the Sydney Thunder past Melbourne and may lead him straight into the national side. Australian NBA guard Matthew Dellavedova has posted a season-high 20 points in Cleveland's 22-point win over Philadelphia, with star point guard Kyrie Irving returning from injury and threatening the Aussies' playing time. Dellavedova staked his claim for more minutes. He shot 7 goals from 10 field goals, including 4 from behind the three-point line. Only LeBron James outscored the Australian with 23 points, and as always, most of them were from above the rim. NBA, how good. That's the last sport this afternoon.
Thank you, Bonnie. See you soon. We'll still to come. Finance and the latest weather with Beck Judd. And Beck, tell us, how's Christmas Day looking?
Davina, one thing we can be sure of is that it will be a wet Christmas for the top end in northern Queensland. Brisbane can also expect a wet day, light showers for Sydney, but it should be mostly fine for southern capitals. I'll have tomorrow's forecast next. Good afternoon. Well, all eyes are on the top end as a monsoonal trough threatens to develop into a tropical cyclone over the next few days. And over the coming week, rainfall totals are likely to exceed 400 millimetres for coastal parts of the top end and including Darwin. Last night was the warmest December minimum in 15 years for Sydney, but it will be a little more comfortable tonight. It's forecast to drop to 19, and tomorrow will be cooler with up to 30 millimetres in showers, along with a maximum of just 22 degrees. Melbourne had a chance to cool off today, but it will start warming up again tomorrow, mostly sunny and a top of 25. It will be a partly cloudy day for Brisbane with a top of 30 degrees. And really warming up in Perth. Tomorrow will be sunny and hot, heading for 39. Some light afternoon showers for Canberra and a top of 22. Sunny and 22 in Hobart. A lovely day in Adelaide, 31. And gusty thunderstorms for Darwin with around 45 millimetres of rain. On Wednesday, more showers will develop along the New South Wales coast and in eastern Victoria, and there will also be isolated falls in the WA interior, but they won't affect Perth. It will be another warm day, heading for 36. Stormy right across the top of the country down to Townsville. Just light showers for Brisbane and a top of 29. Only a millimetre expected in Sydney and another cool top of 23. Partly cloudy in Canberra and 26. Mild in Hobart, 23. Melbourne is warming up again, 29 degrees, and so is Adelaide, sunny and 35. Only 3 more sleeps till Christmas, Davina.
Can't wait, Beck. Thank you very much. Checking finance for you now. The share market has finished the trading day flat. The All Ords was up just over a point, and the Aussie dollar's mixed against the majors. It's worth 71.67 US cents, 46 British pence, and 65 euro cents. And that is Nine's afternoon news. Our next bulletin's coming up at 6 o'clock. And don't forget, for the latest on all our stories, you can log on to our website, ninenews.com.au, with updates on all our content 24 hours a day. I'm Davina Smith. Have a great evening. We hope to see you tomorrow.